And we're back.
We are.
Welcome back, Russ.
Hello, Matt. How are you today?
I'm doing great. And welcome back, everyone. Thank you for returning, and welcome if you are new. My name is Matt.
I am Russ.
And we are your 4K Kings, covering movies we love, physical media, movie reviews, unboxings. Check us out on Spotify as well. Listen to this in your car if you like, or you can continue to watch us on YouTube. We like that as well. Thanks to everybody that continues to support us. Leave us a comment. We really appreciate that. It's great hearing from everybody. It's great hearing what you're excited about, what you'd like to pick up, what you'd like to see from us. Russ, what do we got for the people this week? So we've got 4K news from Kino. We've got 4K news from Criterion. We're going to continue to talk about WB's 100th anniversary releases. Plus, we're going to give our recommendations of the week. We're also going to play our new favorite game show, Name That Cage.
You're the reason this country's going down the drain.
We mentioned last week, Russ, that we are accepting your viewer videos, the people's videos about the pickups that they've got, the pickups that they're excited about. Please send us a little clip, 30 seconds, 1 minute. Just tell us why you're excited about that release, and we will showcase it here. We got a submission from our friend Mark last week.
Hey, y'all. My name is Mark. I settled on this, Freeway.
So this is this week's viewer video.
One of my recent 4Ks I picked up was Baron von Munchausen from Criterion. One of my favorite Terry Gilliam movies. This movie rules.
Thanks for that submission of Baron Munchausen, which is a great Criterion release. I picked it up myself. I'm actually going to be talking about that in 1 second. Thanks for sending that in. Don't forget, send your videos in, and you might be able to end up here for the whole world to see. And by world, I mean approximately 2,000-ish people and a couple hundred bots.
I want to thank you for the information. I don't know what good it'll do me.
So, Russ, what did you get in the mail this week?
I don't know if we're still just reeling from the holiday season, but I didn't pick up a ton this past. I think the only thing I've acquired was the Scream Factory Steelbook of They Live in 4K.
Wow.
I had to upgrade this. I mean, as we've stated before, the artwork on this, I am a fan of this style as long as it tonally matches the film that it's showcasing. Wow, this style fits They Live. Anybody who's seen They Live know this artwork is perfect for
Can
it.
I take a look at that? I've wanted to see it in person.
But anyway,
so
no, of course, Matt. Here you go.
Thank you, Russ. See, the detail on that is really, really nice. The way it glistens, like the characters pop out like they're glistening, but the background's like the matte. Really nice.
And
really nice work.
Yeah, and I have to say, sadly, these are the only ones I can get excited about. I realize Scream Factory hasn't done anything for a long time besides reissuing their back catalog in 4K. But They Live, come on, it's John Carpenter, it's a classic. I had to upgrade this one.
And you mentioned that in your top 5 most anticipated releases of the year. So number 1 checked off the list.
Exactly, man. This year is going downhill fast. I'm already
starting off strong.
Cash is easy to get.
Did you pick up anything?
Yeah, I kind of got a little crazy here. These were all pre-orders that just kind of all happened to come out like January 18th or something. Like they all just appeared. And one of them was Baron Munchausen from Criterion, which I was super excited to own. I was super excited to pick up in 4K. I happened to take a look at this the other night. I showed it to my family and they promptly fell asleep.
What do you expect?
But that's okay. That is okay. I enjoyed it for as much as I watched. Excellent release. Some great features too. Baron Munchausen. And then my next pickup, Russ, was the Cloverfield Steelbook here. It's got that fancy slide-off plastic case, so when you take it off, there's like a camera lens on it. The camera lens comes off, and then you've got the destruction of the town with the monster on the front, which I mentioned before I disagree with because the monster is like kind of like a big reveal that only is in the movie for like 2 total minutes of the entire runtime because it's not 100% about the monster necessarily, but to spoil it on here, I think it's pretty weak. My number 3 thing that I got in the mail was the Anvil, the story of Anvil 2-disc Ultimate Edition. Now, this is the first time this has even been on Blu-ray in America, and not only that, but they really went for it, and I really feel like that's awesome. There's so many interviews on here, so many different like mini behind-the-scenes documentaries, interviews with everybody. If you are a fan of documentaries, rockumentaries, mockumentaries, maybe all 3 combined, this is an incredible movie. It's got a lot of heart. It's got a really great journey that I feel like really nails the feeling of friendship and not giving up on your dreams, and for that, I love this movie. And then lastly, Russ, I picked up Pulp Fiction.
Pretty smart.
I honestly assumed you already did.
I didn't. I held out this long.
It's your favorite movie of all time.
I was going to hold out and not pick this up, but do you know who actually got to me? Was Matt Mead. He sent a pretty sharp jab my way a few months ago that really stuck with me for a long time. And what he said exactly was, it's your favorite movie of all time. You should just pick this up because when you actually finally do pick it up in 3 to 6 months, you're not going to have the slipcover.
Exactly.
And I sat and I stewed on that for a while. I was like, I didn't really have any urgency to pick this up. But as soon as he made that slipcover remark, I was like, he's right. I'm going to end up getting this, and it's not going to have this on it. And that's going to kind of suck. Let's move along, Russ, to the blue news that we've got. Some of the hottest news of the week, which I'm going to not lie here. There's really nothing that I was like completely blown away by.
Update.
The first update that we've got is the WB. We talked about their 100-year anniversary. We kind of had some words about Rocky and about Superman and kind of excited they were putting stuff out, but it's just kind of being a little lackluster, whether it's the packaging or the fanfare around it.
That's right, it stinks!
They continue to make some announcements. The little things that they are leaking out there, it's just nothing that I've been like blown away by.
This guy's a total wacko.
As you might remember, Russ, back in July of last year, we covered the Ultimate Collector's Editions of Batman Returns, and the 3 Nolan films. Zavi was putting out individual 4K packages for all of them, doing their usual thing with their photos, their posters, and all that kind of stuff. And we kind of mocked them as a cash grab at the time.
They just don't care.
Now, the WB, in its 100th anniversary, is giving the fans what they want with Ultimate Collector's Editions of Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, the 2 we were missing from before.
I can't believe it.
Now they are all here, Russ. They're all here, and they're all in a very similar packaging. They're all in the very same similar style. Each one's got its own color associated with it. Now, if you were missing these 2 and you felt like you were incomplete, now you'll be complete. And these are $50 before shipping, which I think is a joke.
I want Matt Mead to bully me into spending $50 on Batman and Robin.
An enticing offer.
I'll give you a hot take,
Dude.
Matt. I've never seen Batman Forever.
Really?
Batman and Robin, on the other hand, I've seen like 3 times.
I understand.
What I would like to see, though, and I would buy in a heartbeat, would be an awesome set of directors. Give me the Burtons in one set, Schumacher's in one set, Nolan's in one set. I would support that.
Really? I didn't know that.
But then, other than these Batman releases, they've mentioned just a couple of other quick things, like some old WB stuff's coming out, like Maltese Falcon, Cool Hand Luke, Rebel Without a Cause. After seeing Casablanca, I kind of was interested in seeing more Humphrey Bogart stuff, but I don't know that I'm going to just blind buy fucking Maltese Falcon.
No.
And National Lampoon's Vacation.
Day one. It'll probably have some lackluster art. It'll be like that Blu-ray I have. It is arguably one of the ugliest. It's just like a close-up of Chevy Chase, and I think like the desert's in the background.
Look at that. Why?
And do you remember what the original artwork was for this in European? It was that Drew Struzan,
It's
like
pretty badass, where he's like holding something.
yeah, it was parodying like the Conan style
Yeah.
posters. This is what you give me?
I think you're all fucked in the head.
12 Angry Men in 4K, which I know you're a big fan of. This is coming out March 28th from Kino, which was announced actually nearly a year ago.
It's not possible.
Now it's finally seeing the light of day. It was actually released by Criterion back in 2011. So this is another Kino Lorber, snatch and grab from Criterion. For Kino, it's a 2-disc release, 4K, and a special features blue plus a slipcase. It comes with a 4K restoration from the original camera negative, Dolby Vision, and a new commentary from some like film historian guy. But then it also has a Blu-ray disc which contains the 1997 film starring Jack Lemmon.
God, I'm sorry for you.
As well as a making of and a featurette. So they kind of give you both movies in one. Kino also released the 97 version like
That's
a year
why
ago.
they have it.
So they're just like bundling it up for you, which is kind of a cool touch. Like you mentioned, the Criterion one.
Has so many more features.
It's
than
got
this.
hours
I know, dude.
of features that are all missing here.
The Criterion one actually has, because originally before the Henry Fonda, the one we all know and love,
Yeah.
it was originally a television
Yeah,
production.
and that's on
And
there,
the Criterion one has that.
I hadn't noticed that before. That must be annoying.
You're not getting literally any of the features that came with the Criterion, so you kind of have to, pick. Which, do you like this movie enough to buy it in 4K but own the Criterion to keep the features, or just not? Like, what do you think?
I would say keep both, because Kino does great work on transfers, but keep that Criterion, as you said, for the extravagant bonus features.
What do you think I am, an idiot or something?
I've seen this movie, I think, on television, but maybe not. My memory's a little... I mean, I know how it resolves, but I feel like my memory's like foggy on the entire thing. So this might be a pickup for me. I'm not sure. I don't know. Would you recommend this as a blind buy, Russ?
For you, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
How about to the people?
See, this is a film I don't feel like I have to sell to anybody. I mean, it's widely considered one of the greatest movies of all time, easily one of the greatest American films of all time.
We're not convinced.
I feel like if you're aware of it, you've already made up your mind of whether or not you're going to see it or not. My personal opinion, I agree with the consensus. It's a masterpiece, beautiful in what it says, in what the American justice system should be.
And then how's Jack Lemmon?
Now, I'm a little sick of this whole thing already, you know? I mean, all this yapping is getting us nowhere.
Well, I wonder how insanely stacked the sudden death Kino is going to be.
Now, this is an American classic that I could recommend to everyone.
Thanks.
We all recognize its place in film history, but if you haven't sat down and actually watched Sudden Death from beginning to end, it is beautiful. It is what the American justice system should be.
Kind of, yeah.
Terror goes into overtime with Sudden Death. Now, this is just being prepared by Kino. Who knows when if it's supposed to come out this year, I think, but they haven't really given much details. I have not seen this film, but more JCVD 4K is always a good thing. I heard this is like Die Hard in an ice hockey rink or something. And there's like a fight with a mascot, which is apparently incredible. That's what I'm told. I don't know if Van Damme fights the mascot, but there's a mascot fight that apparently is great.
Sounds like he knows way too much.
This is one of those movies I'm not sure if I've seen. Like, I feel like I've seen at least parts of this growing up on cable, but I can't tell you anything about it, so maybe not.
Thanks.
Criterion announced their April releases, and they had kind of like an interesting little splash of stuff, including The Seventh Seal, The Fisher King, and then that new film Triangle of Sadness, which I'm really interested in checking out. The Seventh Seal and The Fisher King, they've both been released before by Criterion. This is just another reissue, but just in 4K. More Terry Gilliam. We just talked about Bear Munchausen. They're putting out The Fisher King. I never saw this movie either. This movie came out when I was like 9 years old, and I remember seeing the trailer. I remember seeing Robin Williams, but because it seemed more like a drama, I remember thinking like, okay, maybe this movie just isn't for me, and I never went back and revisited it.
I think every child our age at that
Did
time
you-
I did the
this
same
since?
thing. With Gilliam, I'm kind of like hit or miss.
Yeah.
He's not a director I want to go out and just like seek out his entire filmography, like the ones I've missed. Again, this coming out in 4K is the perfect opportunity for me to check out some of that great Robin Williams.
And Jeff Bridges. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This was...
I thought it was Bo.
No, it's
Never
Jeff.
mind. If it's Jeff, I'm not watching this shit.
This was the movie he did after Bear Munchausen, funny enough. And I guess this is also the first movie he did that had no one from Monty Python in it. If this is a blind buy, let us know below. If this is one of Gilliam's best, one of Robin Williams' best, one of Bo Bridges' best.
It's kind of a big titty, spread cheeky kind of thing.
And the last piece of news, Russ, you sent to me, and I had a chuckle at, and I thought we'd take a look at it also, which is Umbrella Entertainment. They're putting out Repo Man. We've covered a few of their releases. They put out a really cool Love Witch that you enjoyed. They put out
Miami Connection
release that released The Martyrs. So Repo Man is coming out March 8th from them. It's just Blu-ray. It's not 4K.
Fuck you.
I don't know who will be the first to put this in 4K. I know Criterion has it, but even though that's more of a classier release, this kind of looks like a fun release. Like I'm sure you're more familiar with this movie than me and can maybe explain some of these little pieces of memorabilia, but it does have a cool slipcase, and then inside it's got this standard art that just says movies on it.
This is swell.
all of the like sort of merchandise you see in the film. For instance, like Emilio Estevez works at a grocery store in the beginning. Everything you see that's generic, whether it's cereal, whether it's anything, beer, it's just like this.
Gotcha.
So I love that case saying movie. It has the blue stripe.
Yeah.
I thought that was really clever.
Cool, huh?
Another thing you want to say how Criterion put this out, and if you're unfamiliar with this movie, it's not weird coming from Criterion, but it almost would, I think, fit in more in an Arrow. It does have like artistic merit. It's a great goddamn movie. I love it.
Yeah, and it comes with a beer koozie and a cool keychain. That keychain's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's an image like from the movie.
Yeah.
Like when they lift the trunk, when the dude
Yeah.
lifts it, he gets burned.
Lobby cards, poster, $55 US total if you were to get this, and I think they have like a regular edition with is just the slip in the movie for like 30 or something like that. They do have some new features though. I will say they did kind of get something. There's a new featurette on filming locations as well as the soundtrack, and then some archival stuff. So probably not everything Criterion had, but they're doing something.
Great film. This is a blind buy. This is one of those titles I like collecting things. Yeah, I am. I'm sitting here pretending like I'm not.
There you
I'm
go.
totally getting this.
There you go. Repo Man.
Doobity doo wop wop, say what, yeah?